We discussed about the right optimized DSO in the previous session. Okay, so today we'll see the difference between right optimized DSO and the standard DSO. So what are the differences? Okay, so when it comes to right optimized DSO, we have only one table, so that is active data table. Be aware of this. In the standard DSO, we have three tables: new data table, active data table, and change log table. Okay. So in the write optimize DSO, we don't have any override functionality. So once data is loaded to the target to the write optimize DSO, um, so we no need to activate the request. Okay, so the data is available for reporting immediately once the data is loaded. Okay, so no override functionality here. Here we have override functionality in the standard DSO. So once you loaded data to the standard DSO, first new data table will be loaded. After activation, in the active data table based on the key combination. So while designing the standard DSO, what are the key fields you have taken based on the key combination? If I have like no same records, then that will overwrite. Okay. So here we have override functionality, and in the right optimal DSO, we don't have any override functionality. The data will be maintained in the detail level. Okay. So activation is not required after the data load. So once I load the data to the right up media, so directly it will load to the active data table. No activation is required. But when it comes to standard DSO, activation is required until that data will not be available for reporting. Also, if you want to load data to the next level target, also not possible. Okay, so that request will not be loaded to the next level target. So activation is required. And while loading data from right up DSO to the next level target, whether it is full init delta data comes from active data table only, and delta will work based on the request ID. Okay, so this point is very important. I am loading data from right up DSO to the next level target. If it is full initialization delta, whatever it may be, data comes from active data table only. Why? Because we have only one table, that is active data table, so data comes from active data table only. But the delta mechanism, when you're loading data to the next level target, the delta mechanism will work based on the request ID. Okay. And in the standard DSO, while loading data from standard DSO to next level target, if it is full or initialization, data comes from active data table. If it is delta, it will come, delta comes from change log table. So we have change log table concept in the standard DSO. So where you can see the images in the zero record mode, before image, after image, reverse image, yeah, new image, first time if the data is loaded. So based on the image, if you are loading data to the next level target, data comes from the change log table. And then in the write up my DSO, technical keys. So we have technical keys, request ID, data package ID, and record number act as a primary keys in this write up my DSO. Technical keys. When it comes to standard DSO, key fields act as a primary keys. So that is also in the active data table. Okay, so what are the key fields you are taking into the standard DSO? Those key fields act as a primary key. You know, right? What is mean by key fields? Key fields are different. Key figures are different. Key figures are measurable objects. Okay, so key fields are no primary keys. So we can take characteristics only into the key fields. So what are the key fields you have taken? So those will act as a primary keys in the standard DSO. Okay. So here duplicate data records will be identified based on the semantic keys. So semantic keys are useful. Okay. So if you enable the semantic keys, of course, we can take only characteristics into the semantic keys. And if you are not allowing any duplicate data records into the in the write up media, so based on the semantic keys, okay, so what you are specifying at the time of design, write up media, so design, so based on that semantic keys, duplicate data records will be identified. Okay, here in the standard DSO, duplicate records will be identified based on the key fields. So what are the key fields you have taken? Based on that, duplicate data records will be identified. Generally, like no, we can use for staging purpose. Okay, so in the write-up DSO, as discussed at the time of like no, that is, I mean, write-up DSO topic. Write-up DSO generally we will use for staging purpose. Also, I want to do even in the reporting. Okay, so I want to do reporting immediately once data is loaded to the target. Okay, then we can go for the write-up DSO. So in the standard DSO, like we can use for the staging purpose if required. Also reporting purpose we will use. So reporting purpose also we can use the standard DSO. So these are the major differences between write-up DSO and then standard DSO. Okay. So any confusion or any questions or any doubts? Info objects are reusable objects. We aware of this. Okay. So these are the main objects where we can build the structures in the SAP BW. We can reuse the info objects. For example, someone has created the info object, the same kind of property you want to use. Okay, then you can use that info objects. It's like no reusable objects. So how many types of info objects are there? The major we can divide it into two types. One is characteristic, the other one is key figures. Okay, so even in the characteristics also we have different types. Okay, so we have time characteristics, unit characteristics, and technical characteristics. Okay, so base characteristics objects like where we can see the customer, material ID, customer ID, plant, like that. And then time characteristics you can see like a calendar day, calendar month, physical period. These are the time characteristics. Yeah. And then we have also technical characteristics. So technical characteristics are nothing but, for example, we have request ID, which is generated by the system. We have request ID, data package ID, record number, partition number. These are these also info objects only. Okay. Technical keys, you see, request ID, data package ID, record. These are the info objects actually, which are given by the system. I mean SAP. Okay. So this is also info object, but these info objects are technical characteristics. These are characteristics actually technical. Okay. And we have unit characteristic also. Zero unit, zero currency, local currency. These are unit related. Of course it's info object, it's a characteristic info object only, but those are related to unit characteristics. We discussed about so info area. So this is the info area, so what I have created. And then we can create different types of info object catalogs. So two types, some main two types. One is for characteristics, another one is for key figures. Okay, you see, so by seeing this symbol itself you can identify this is characteristic info object. By seeing this symbol itself you can identify this is key figure info object. See, this triangle symbol is like a green color. You can see square, that is not a green color. Okay, so if we have such kind of symbol, then that is characteristics. Okay, generally it is characteristics. So key figure symbol will be like that. This is for BW system, but in the latest version it will be different. Okay, so but here, so general, this is characteristics and this is key figure. So these icons also you can easily identify. This is info cube. If you remember, this is info cube. This is DSO, whatever it may be, whether it is standard DSO, right? But the symbol is DSO symbol. Okay, and this is info cube symbol. Yeah, you see what is this? Data source. You see here data source. This is the data source. This one info objects. So forget about whether it is characteristic. This is info object. Can you tell me this one, this symbol? By seeing that symbol itself, you have to identify. Can you tell me what is this symbol? Master data attribute symbol. Okay, this is hierarchy symbol. Master data hierarchy symbol. These are the process chain APT, that's fine. But as of now, what we aware, by seeing that symbol itself, you have to identify the object. Okay, so this symbol is for info area. Okay, this symbol for info sources, like that. No, the symbols also you have to remember, which is important in the real time if you are working. Okay. Okay, guys. So I have, let's take customer ID. Okay, let's take. I will create one info object. Create info object. So while creating info object, you guys are aware you have to give minimum characteristic 3 and maximum 9. Okay, so let me give Z info object for employee ID. Okay, employee ID N. Okay, so you have to make sure um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine. 8 characters. 8 length is 8 only. Employee ID. Okay, so I'm trying to create one info object. Okay, that is employee ID. I want to take the existing properties of the info object. Existing property. Okay, for example, you see here we have two options here. One is the reference characteristic and another one is template. So what is the difference between these two? Okay, so we'll see what is the theoretically what is the difference between these two. First one is reference characteristics. Okay, which is very important. Even this concept is there in the latest version also, BW for HANA version also. Be concentrate. So what is reference characteristics? For example, if I create a new info object, okay, using reference characteristic, first the new object will take the properties of referred object. Properties means what? I will create one new object. Okay, I will take reference as a existing info object. Existing info object is nothing but my customer I have given. I have used this reference in characteristic. Okay, fine. Okay, what it is asking now? Okay, you are trying to take the existing characteristic as a reference. The attributes from the characteristic, this one also used to the this one. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. Continue. So character means what are the attributes are there in the customer ID, those will comes to your info object. You see, first properties it will take. This is my new info object what I have created. Okay, and then you can see like a description also. But when it comes to reference characteristics, you can see here reference characteristic, customer is the reference characteristic, customer ID is the reference characteristic. But when it comes to here, like you see, all the properties are nothing but what we have. Okay, the attributes and then the master data, everything, the properties, everything it will take. The new object will take. Okay, that is the first point. The second point, we cannot change or edit the properties of the new object. I cannot change. I cannot change the or edit the properties of the new object. Okay, I have created this new object. I want to change. Okay, this type. I mean, the length is not 10. It's let's take 15 or 5 only. So I cannot change. Change is not possible. Okay, you see, when I'm trying to change, first let me activate this. Activated. Okay, so employee ID. I will try to change this one. When I'm trying to change, see, these options are not there. I cannot edit this. I cannot edit this. Okay, if I am using as a reference, I cannot edit or change. And then the SID table and other master data tables like a P table, Q table, M table of the new object are same as referred object. For example, I have created one info object that is employee ID. Okay, you see the characteristic technical name also Z info object underscore employee ID. Okay, but when it comes to master data tables, even SID table also, you know, right? What is the naming convention of SID table? For example, in this for this new object, what will be the SID table slash BAC slash yes and your info object technical name? This one, right? But when it comes to here, see slash BAC slash yes, this is your info object, but your SID table is like your character reference characteristic SID table. Okay, even if I go to master data also, even you see the info object, like how the master data P table naming convention will be slash BAC slash P and then your info object technical name. This is my info object technical name. But when it comes to this P table, you see slash BAC slash P, here your reference characteristic technical name. Yeah, so if I take reference like that, okay, your new object will behave. We cannot load data to this new object also. I cannot load data. Data load is not possible. If I want to load data to this new info object, employee ID, data load is not possible. Okay, but how I can see the data then? If I load data to this info object, your characteristic info object, then obviously what are the data available in this characteristic info object? That will be reflected to your employee also. Okay, if I load to the data to the characteristic info object, I mean customer info object, this is the customer, right? Sorry, this is the customer info object, then that will reflect to your employee also. In this case, I can see the data because customer ID I have already loaded. This info object just now I have created. See, attributes also it has taken as it is. So this info object just now I have created, taken reference as this info object. Then I cannot load data. If I load data to this customer, then obviously it will also reflected. The data will be reflected to here. Okay. Then if I go to P table, obviously you can see the data. 12 entries. So this data is from the customer. Okay, so that is the reference. While creating info object, you can see the reference. Okay, then we have some other option. So that is like no template, create info object. This time I will give Z. Let's take it's not material, product something. Okay, product ID. Let's take this time. I will not use reference. I will use template. Okay, so I will give the template. If I give the template first, what will happen? You see, the first point, very first point, will go to the critical part. Okay. If I use template in the new version, we can see copy from like that. Copy. Okay. In the new version. So same copy from like that you can see. But in the old version, template. Okay. If I create a new object using template or copy from, the first the new object will take the properties of template object or copy from object. I have used copy from is like no material, right? For this product material. So if I see all the properties it will take, data type and length, attribute, everything it will take. That is the first point. And the second point, we can edit the properties of the new object. Yes, I can edit. You see, if I go to general tab, I can change this length to 7. I can edit this property. Also, if I don't want this one attribute, I can remove. Also, if you want to add one more attribute, I can add. I can edit the properties of this new object. Okay, that is the second point. The new object has its own SID and other master data table. You see, its own SID table. See, product ID, right? You see, slash BIC slash yes, your info object technical name. So the new object is having its own SID table. Also, the other master data tables, you can see P table and M table. If you have text table, everything its own. In case of reference, the referred object, I mean, P table and also Q table, M table, whatever it may be. So those tables only you can see. But in case of template or copy from, you can see it's like the new object, its own SID and P table, Q table, M table, or other text tables also. Okay. And then we can load the data to the new object. So I can load data to this new object. So initially I will activate and I will make this object will be available in the info provider level. Then I will create transformations and mappings and then data sources DTP. So then I will load. So loading also possible. These are the differences between okay reference and template while creating info object. Very, very important question. Very, very important question. Even in the interview also people will ask. Okay. Then when we go for reference, when we go for template, generally reference characteristic. For example, I have one info object which I am already using. Already I am using that info object. Okay. So already I'm using the report also. Same kind of information I need one more time. Same kind of information, same data, same kind of information. In this case, I can go for the reference. Already the existing property, I need to one more info object, same kind of information I need. For example, that is reflected, my info objects also should be reflected. In this case, I can use reference characteristic. Template or copy from, for example, I want to take the properties of other info object, but I will customize as per my requirement. I will delete, I will modify the properties. Okay, I will add some characteristic, I will change some characteristic. That is my, I mean, as per my requirement, I will customize my object. In this case, you can go for the template, or in the latest version, copy from. Okay, so this is the main difference between reference and template. Even what is mean by transformations? Okay, so what is the use of transformations? You see, this is the transformation symbol. Actually, this is transformation symbol. Okay, if it is green highlighted one, no, that is active. This is active only. Okay, for example, uh, I have some, okay, data is there, is it? Okay, let me delete the data. Okay, so this green highlighted one is transformation is active. I will just add some objects here. Okay, so with the data in real time, I cannot change. Okay, with the data, if key fields are changing, obviously you have to drop and reload. If key fields are changing, you have to remember this point. If key fields are changing, why? If you key field, if the key fields are changing, you have to drop and reload. Why? Because you are doing some structural changes. Okay, based on the key fields only, your standard DSO will be overwrite. Okay, so that's fine. So I will add some info objects. Go to catalog and this one. Okay, fine. So I need let's take customer name. Yeah, I need to this one customer name, and then customer address also I need. Okay, and then okay, I need material type also, or material name also I need. I need material name. I have customer information. Also, I have material information, right? So I need customer name and also customer address, and then material name also I need. Okay, I have added. So I can take in the data fields characteristics and key figures combination. So I will activate this. What are those impacts? You see, and no, your DTP will be affected. You see, DTP, this DTP, this DTP, and this DTP, and this DTP, okay, has been deactivated. Why? Because if I am doing changes in the target, so DTP contains source information, also target information. Even transformation also contains source and target information. Means this source information data need to be transferred to this target information like that. If I do some changes in the source, or if I do some changes in the target, your transformation and DTP will go to inactive state. This point you have to remember. Okay, if I'm doing some changes in my target or in the source, if you are doing something like that, then your transformations and the DTP will go to inactive state. Okay, I have done some changes here, and then go to activated. Is it? I have activated also. So activated, done. And then if I expand this DSO, you see transformation went to inactive. This is transformation is inactive. Why? Because you have done some changes either in the target or in the source. That's why you can see the transformation inactive. Why? Because this transformation contains both source and target information. If I do something change, some changes in the source or target, your transformation will go inactive. As soon as your transformation is inactive, obviously your DTP also will go to inactive. You see, your DTP also will go to inactive. Clear? Any confusion or any doubts? No confusion or no doubt. Okay. Next, I have done some. What is the statement? Can you tell me? If I do some changes, either in the source or target, either in the source or target, then your transformation and DTP will go to inactive. That is fine. This is fine. The target I have done the changes, and then my transformation and DTP went to inactive. If I go to top here, you see, if I go to top here, this transformation and DTP also went inactive. Why? Why this went to inactive? For example, this is the for this DTP, this is the target. Source is your data source. Your data source. Okay, I didn't change anything here. The target I have changed. That's why the transformation and DTP went to inactive. That is the first point. The second point, for this info cube, source is your DSO. This DSO only. You see, source is ZDSO underscore SLS. You see, ODSO, ZDSO underscore SL. You see ODSO like that earlier. Earlier, I told, right, if you remember, operational data store earlier. So that's why everywhere you can see O like that. ODSO means like operational data store object. Okay. So now we are calling as DSO, but that still that name in the transformation you can see ODSO. That's fine. So ODSO, ZDSO underscore SLS. See, this is the source for this info cube. If some changes are reflected, if any changes in the source, then obviously your target related, the next target related transformation and DTP also will go to inactive. If you are doing the development or if you are doing any changes in the real time, you have to observe these inactive objects. You have to capture those objects also. You have to activate those also, and you have to capture in the TR, and then you have to move. Okay, so this is very, very important. Okay. You see, I have added some info objects here: customer name, customer address, and then material name, something like that. Okay, I will also. Okay, this is fine. I will also add one info object. Okay, so that is something country like that here. Which country this data is belongs to. Okay, we have something like the standard info object. Let's if I go to RST1, zero country is the info object. Country key. Okay, length is 3. Okay, so still for this also we have master data and all. That's fine. So I will use this info object. Standard info object also I can use. Even like you see, standard info object, zero calda we have used. That is standard one. I will use a standard info object, country, something like that. Okay, added country key, something. In real time, we will use most of the cases standard info object only because SAP has given standard info object most of the your data source fields. If you are not satisfied or your company is following certain naming convention where you have to follow that naming convention only, you have to create your own customizing object, then in this case you can create your own customizing objects. Okay, even though like a calendar day, calendar month and all, they will use for the standard info object only. Okay, so done. So again I change it, right? So this will go to inactive. That's fine. Okay, now come to the transformation. So transformation is nothing but how you are transforming the data from the source to target, how you are transforming. Okay, this is the field in your source. This is my data source. This is the field. How you are transforming to the target. your info objects. Okay, that is transformation. Not only field or info object, from one source to another target within BW also we have transformation. The transformation general topic is how you are transforming the data from source to target. Okay, so you see, like, no, there are certain, there are certain transformation rules. Okay, if I go to rule details, okay, so first let me edit this. If I go to rule details, okay, you can see first, like, no, initial. Initial is nothing but, for all the objects, initially it's initial only. These are the initial only. Initial means null values will be loaded. Okay, for example, let me activate this and I will show you. Have added the info objects. That's fine. I deleted in the PSA. I have loaded 9 records. That's fine. So the very first option, the transformation, it's initial. Initial means null values, no mapping. It is initial only, no mapping here. You see, if I go to rule details, it's initial only. Initial, it is initial. Nothing is assigned, that is initial. Initial means null values will be loaded, blank values will be loaded. Okay, so I will load the data to the target for the flexibility. I will open one more session and I will show you. Okay, here I can, so this one I have loaded. I didn't activate, but I can see in the new data table only. I will show in the new data table only how the data is reflected. Okay, you see, like, sales order I have, item I have, customer ID, material ID, calendar, price, and quant, everything I have. But customer name, nothing is there. Because why? Because customer name, why nothing is there? Why? Because, okay, it is not mapped. If it is not mapped in the transformation, then obviously you can see the blank values for that. It is not mapped. It's blank value. So that's why you can see these are the blank values. So these are the mapped. So that's why you can see the, like, the data. So what are the data it is coming? Same, it will be transferred here. That is the first initial. Initial means, like, generally it's a null values. Nothing is assigned. Then second one is constant. Constant. For example, constant is nothing but, okay. Before that, I will discuss the other rule type. Direct assignment. We'll discuss constant later. Direct assignment. Direct assignment is nothing but, here you can see direct assignment equals to direct assignment. Direct assignment is nothing but what information in the source it is contains. Same information it will be transformed to your object or target. Let's take, I have CID like that. My field. In my field, C100 is my source data contains C100. I have ZCID, something my info object. Okay. You are mapping, it's a direct assignment. Direct assignment. So, like, no, I have C100. Same will be assigned to your target. Nothing will be changed. It's a direct assignment. What are the data it is coming in the source? Same will be mapped to your target. That is the direct assignment. You can see all in our transformation, all are equals to only. Equals to means directly you are assigning what are the information coming in the source. Same directly you are assigning. You are not changing the data, anything. What are the information coming in the source? Same you are assigning to the your target. Okay, that is direct assignment. First point. Okay, and the second one you can see. Okay, constant. Okay, so we discussed about direct assignment. Initial also we discussed a constant. The other rule group is, rule type is constant. Constant is nothing but, for example, I have country key. Okay. My business is running in India only. Okay. I don't want to map no the country key from the source. Okay, India like that. I will make it this one as a constant. Always it's India only. Here no transformation. It is no transformation means initially it is initial only. No transformation means initial. Initial. I will make it as a constant. Constant. Always it's India only. Transfer value. Always it's India only. You see, this symbol is constant symbol. You have to remember. This symbol is constant symbol. It's India only. Always the country is constant India. I have loaded 100 records for this InfoObject India only. I have loaded 1 million records, 1 million records for this InfoObject India only, IND only. Like that, I made in the transformation constant. Okay, so let me activate and I will show you. I will delete again from the target. Data is there still in my PSA. I didn't delete data in the PSA. I will trigger one more time DTP. You know, right? If I trigger the data in the DTP, data mart status will change. Again, the same request will bring. Okay, fine. So I will show you now. Okay, so here, just refresh it. Already I have deleted this. Just refresh it. India now it's like a country, it's blank only. Just refresh it. Yeah, observe that. India only. For all these records, India only. Why? Because I have made the transformation for this InfoObject constant, that is India, IND. Okay, so that is one more rule type. Okay, constant. Formula. Next one, formula. So we'll discuss this formula, or what I will do. I have one InfoObject. I will show now only. I have one InfoObject. I will create one InfoObject RST1, or if already existing InfoObject also I can use, right? Uh, if you want to search in the SAP, in the entire RSA one screen, I want to search one InfoObject with the description or technical name, that's fine. So here I can apply the global search here, global search. Okay, or here also it's fine. There also it's the same global search only. You need to select whether you are selecting only info areas, application component, or you are selecting all the areas. So I want to select only that is, if for any info objects only, like any name, like a total amount, I need that info object. Okay, like that I'm searching. That is the searching. Okay, I can see multiple total amounts. Okay, so let me select a total amount. Okay, this is fine. I will take this total amount. This is info object. So I will add in my DSO. Okay, so first I will delete the data. I'm just showing how that rule type will work. I will add into the data fields total amount. Okay, so let it be here after material price. I need total amount. Okay, okay, total amount. Total amount is nothing. For example, I have purchased. Okay, the material. Let's take soap. I have purchased. Let's take example. Soap. One soap price is 100 rupees. Example. One piece soap price is 100 rupees. Let's take. Like that, the quantity 2 pieces means 2 soaps I purchased. Then what is the total amount? What is the total amount?
200.
200. How you have calculated?
Price into quantity.
Yeah, price into quantity. Material price, how much is the price into quantity? Then that is total amount. Okay. So here what I will do, I will apply formula, same like price into quantity only. Here I have formula. I will apply formula. For this, I need a material price I need, and also material quantity also I need. If I have material price and material quantity, then I can derive a total amount. What is my total amount? Here for total amount, there is no source field. No source field for total amount. But I have price and quantity. By calculating this price and quantity, I can derive I can derive this column, total amount column. Okay. Using this rule type. Okay. So I will go to total amount. Okay. I will go to formula. If I want to go to formula, no source fields are assigned. Source fields are not there. Then you assign the source fields. Okay. So source fields are, what are the source fields I need if I want to derive the total amount? I need material price and I need quantity also. These two I need. Okay. These are the source fields I need. Okay. Price, if I have price and quantity, then I can derive the total amount. Okay. Then I will go to formula. You see, this is the formula actually. This is the formula screen. Okay. Here change the formula element. No, this will not work generally. You just click on this here. Yeah. You can see now it's enabled. Okay. In this formula screen, you can see different options. Okay. Using these options, you can derive on a new column. Okay. Or you can do the calculations. Okay. For example, source fields, I have price and quantity. Same like you can see local date, current date. For example, always this, I have one info object. Okay. Always it should come as a current system date only. Okay. Current date only, system date only. This, in this case, just I can take this. So that always it will be current date. What is the system date? That will reflect. Okay. You see different options here. Daylight saving time, database system, factory calendar day. Okay. Then as a language key client. So these are the fields you have. Using these fields, you can derive your new column or you can do the calculations. Or I have already source fields. So using this, I can do the calculations also. So apart from this, I can see here like some operators. Right? We have arithmetic operators. Okay. Then we have bitwise operators and you have different operators. Okay. You see some operators here. Okay. This is division. Okay. This is a multiplication, and you guys aware of these operators. Okay. So I no need to explain. And same you can see equals to, less than, greater than, and, or, not, if, string, number, constant, comment. You see here functions, different types of functions, basic functions. We can see some basic functions. Okay. If you want to concatenate two characteristics as a string, I have two characteristics. One column contains Shoban, other column contain Babu. Okay. Let's take, so in the source, first name is Shoban, last name is Babu. In the target, I have full name. So two columns I have, Soban and Babu. In the full name, what I will do? Shoban concatenate Babu, Shoban Babu, like that. Okay. So you can use all these options. Okay. You see basic functions, CCMS functions. Okay. So you can see like date functions. All these functions you can use. So now my requirement is, price into quantity is the total amount. Okay, let's take price, double click on that price, and into, okay, then quantity, price into quantity. Okay, check the formula. You see, formula syntax is correct. Okay, then come back, and then you can see transfer values. This is the formula. You can see transfer values. You see, this is the formula symbol for this price, and quantity. It is mapping to here price and quantity. Also, if I highlight, this is the highlighter where it is mapped. Price is mapped to, you see, price is mapped to price, that is equals to is direct assignment, means I am sending directly this information to price. Also, I am using reference as like total amount to derive total amount. I am using price. I'm just calculating price and quantity. If I want to calculate price and quantity, you have to map that objects to the total amount. Now I will show you. Wait, I have activated a no. Okay. Let me delete this. I'm clicking on no. Why? Because I don't want to display the monitor. That's it. Data is loading is in progress. Just refresh it. Okay. You see that the column is not there initially. Okay. I will just execute it. You see total amount here. Country already it's like constant we applied. Total amount. Total amount is nothing but price into quantity. Okay. Price is 200. Quantity is 1. 200 into 1, I have one material 200. I purchased only one quantity only, 200 only. I have one more material 300. Two quantities I have purchased, 300 into 2, 600. One quantity only, 400. One quantity only, 100. Two quantity, 400. One quantity. You see 150, two quantity, 300. That is the total amount. Okay, like that I can derive one new column. Okay, applying formula. That is one of the rule type.